Stunning gemstones with some of the most incredible experts and gem authors in the world of gemstones today. If you're just tuning in, welcome back. My name is Sarah. I'm here with a dear friend and a familiar face to many of you. We actually started here at HSN in 1989.
February of 1989.
Okay, and here's some fun pictures from when Paul and I worked together at another network for many years. You might recognize some of the familiar faces and costumes. Right. You're always a good sport, Paul. That's from Tucson, by the way, where he's wearing his sombrero, and we're
out in the desert.
We reunited here at HSN. Almost everything I learned in the world of gemstones came from Paul. He literally wrote the book on gemstones, so it's nice to come full circle and be here together. But there is one thing I know about Paul Deasy, and he is famous for his Peridot. If you thought you knew Peridot, I want you to think again, because this Peridot you're about to see is in a class by itself. Tell us about your brand new Peridot
This
ring.
is Arizona Peridot. There are three main sources in the world. By the way, start a timer right now. This may be the fastest sellout of the day outside of the opal bracelet that we had at midnight. This is an emerald cut Peridot from Arizona. First of all, this is a one and done. Any of the Arizona Peridot that you see, I can't get any more of it. Here's why. This is material from about 40 years ago from a private collection. We bought it all.
How about that?
And the mine is not really active. The mine is in a place called Peridot, Arizona. It's on the San Carlos Indian Reservation. You have to be of Native American descent to even visit or mine the material. So I can't go back in. Most of what comes out of there is really small, what we call melly, really small pieces of Peridot. The color's fantastic, but most of the Peridot can be really heavily included. So to get an emerald cut of that size, how much? I don't even know how much this is. How much is this one?
It's a secret.
Is it? Do we not know?
You don't have to worry about that, Paul.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't care if you tell me. If you tell me it's $1,000, it's a steal.
It's priceless.
It's
once you get it home, because you have a collector's item.
You do. Now this is of all the Arizona Peridot I've ever done, this is the one that you need to own. Dive
into the stone. It's the incredible clarity that the Arizona Peridot is famous for. It's also the color. It's this beautiful, lush, and verdant grass green, almost like an olivine color. How would you describe it?
Now, the olivine, to me, is more yellow, and that comes from India. And that's the Peridot that everybody doesn't like or thought they didn't like. The stuff that comes from China and the stuff that comes from Peridot, Arizona, is a much more, just a bright electric green.
Yeah,
I don't see any yellow
green,
diluting that to my
green.
eye.
And then look at the cut. This is also unusual.
It's amazing.
The size is unusual.
Oh, you're kidding? 179, this should be gone.
Paul just mentioned the size. It's an 8x6 center stone. It's also set east-west, which is also a little bit unusual and fresh, kind of a modern take on a classic ring. Sometimes this stone is going north-south. This is actually set east-west, so
my apologies in advance.
Yeah?
I can't get this one back.
Okay.
Again, I mean, I may be able to replicate that in a Chinese Peridot, but for those of you that are new to me or my collection, my name is Paul Deasy, and I have a gem collection here. I've been in the business for almost 30 years. I would meet people all the time who knew that I was a gem expert that asked me questions, and I'd exchange pleasantries with them and find out they're born in August. And I'd say, oh, well, Peridot's your birthstone. And I had so many people say, not crazy about it. And I would be beside myself. I'm like, how can you not love this stone? And then I'd actually find a piece and show it to them and say, that's gorgeous, what is that? I'm like, that's Peridot. No, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is.
So why do you think it was never
this dates back,
as beloved?
It dates back to the 70s, when what was coming out in the 70s and 80s.
You probably haven't seen Peridot.
Like
this is a great shot of this color, of this quality. And then look at that wonderful frame. It's all beautifully framed in this sparkling, dazzling white topaz. It looks like diamonds. It looks like something that you'd find in the crown jewels. It looks like a very, very expensive ring. And you're getting it home today for less than $36 a month. So if August is your birth month. Maybe you didn't quite get the birthday gift you were looking for, or maybe you just never had the opportunity to own your birthstone in this size and this magnitude with this beautiful, and I would have to say very wearable. All your jewelry is very wearable, Paul. It's not overstated. It's not too big.
I want it to be every day if you want it to be.
It's chic, it's sophisticated, it's classy. This is a really classy ring. Right now we have your sizes 5 through size 10, and your carat weight is gonna be 1.9 carats total, so nearly 2 carats of genuine gemstones, all set in solid precious sterling silver, but just the center stone on its own, a 1.5 carat solitaire
is rare, and especially in the emerald cut. I will issue you the same challenge I did 9.5 years ago when I first introduced this to another network. And I said this: I know that you may think that you're a Peridot hater. And I have a whole former Peridot haters club that now loves this stone. I want you to try it, whether it's your birthstone or not. And if you don't love it,
so pretty.
If you don't love it, send it back. And especially you are now have bragging rights to Arizona Peridot, which is very, very rare. But what you're gonna find, and what happened to me in the past, is that it became one of my #1 rated gemstone rings of all time. Had the highest reviews,
so
300 reviews on what became known as the Peridot ring.
Well, I hope we have time on the earrings.